Good day again, Sir Turnos. So for the second half of our video submissions, we have also made a bill of quantities estimate for the building that we have measured for our midterms project, which was the agriculture building. So as we can see here, we have the front elevation, the left side and right side elevation, and its rear elevation. So by observing, you can see that the agriculture building is indeed a large building. So what are the basis for our estimates? So there were some estimates that we have made that we have passed for our midterms project, but there were just the common ones without the full details. And for some specifications, since we really don't know the very specific, very specific um, details of the materials used, we just also made some references online, and some of the finishes or other materials was also referenced from the unit pricing or the materials used for the duplex houses for our final project split. So moving on to the Excel file. So since I did the architectural plan for the midterms project, I also did the architectural parts of the bill of quantities estimate. So we'll be discussing item number 9 and item number 10, which is focused on doors and windows. So we have door 1, 0.9 by 0.9 by 2.1 meters wood. Door 2, which is 0.8 by 2.1 meters wood. Door 3, which is 0.7 by 2.1 meters, which is also wood. Door 4 is 1 meter by 2.1 meters wood, and door 5 is 0.6 by 2.1 meters wood. So door 1, we have 90 pieces, and it is the most number of doors used because this is the most common of door that is found on majority of the classrooms or rooms in the building. So that's why it's 90 pieces. 0.8 and 0.7 meters by 2.1 meters are commonly present at around ground to second floor level, which is found where the offices can be found. So some of the doors on the outside are 0.8 or 0.7, and some of them are on the inside. Door 4, which is 1 meter by 2.1 meters, is these are the doors that are double doors. So two sets of these are double doors, and one door is just simply a 1 meter by 2.1 meters door. So that's why there are 5 quantities. Then for the bathroom doors, it's 0.6 by 2.1, so they're relatively small. So some are inside the offices. So these are found inside of the offices. So for the prices, for the unit price, our reference again were the online website that we found earlier, that we found for our duplex or for our final project reference, so which was at Wilcon, CDO Hardware, and City Hardware, and some were really from websites to really match as close as possible to the dimensions of the door and the material type. And we've also made the conclusion that maybe the door type was wood flush because the door is not heavy and is lightweight, and if you knock on it, it sounds hollow. So that's why we identified it as a flush type of door. So the unit prices are as follows, as you can see here, from 2,400 down to 2,135, which will then give us these totals right here. So the doors with 90 pieces is 216,000 pesos. So for the windows, in practicality, the builders would try to really use windows that are maybe the same size that can cater the entire building or some parts of the building. They may not be all same sizes, but at least like just a number of them are different. So maybe this is just a measurement error from the architectural plan, but when I I went back and remeasured again. These were all of these were the dimensions that I got from the window. So at glance, this would be very hard for the contractor or the ones estimating to find all of these sizes of windows at the market, and most would probably result to using common sizes, and some of these can be very specific. So I guess it is need to be taken into account that some of these are maybe due to my error, because I did the architectural plan. So to have a recap, in the ground floor and second floor of the agricultural building, majority of the windows are all sliding windows, because these are where offices can be found and they are an air conditioned room. So sliding windows is a must. Then from third floor up to the sixth floor, it is then a combination of majority of jalousie windows with a bit of sliding windows for the remaining offices found in the third floor and in the fifth floor in the DevCom office. So window 11 is the 0.8 by 1.52 meters jalousie window. So these are the classroom windows, or the windows that are very popular or common in the agriculture building. So when I went back and counted, there are 279 pieces. So per piece is the single set of frames. So when I counted, it is around 279 pieces. And for the pricing, just to add, it was very hard to find all of these prices online, because although some were present, but maybe half or more than half of these windows were very hard to find. So some of these are made by assumption or references from another sources. So for the window 11, which is the jalousie windows, we have come to an assumption that each piece would be at around 5,200 pesos, and multiplying it by the 279 pieces, which would give us 1,450,800 pesos. Then window 1, window 3, window 5, and window 4. These are most likely the sliding windows that have been measured, and are although some of these numbers are very close to each other, I just kept them separated to really put a price on each type of windows. So that would be for the doors and windows. And moving on to the master schedule. So for the master schedule, since this is a very old building, we really don't have an access to how this building was made. So even if we ask for plans, maybe it's not available for viewing, or there's simply no copy retrieved. So what we did was made a master schedule for the duration that we did this project. So let me zoom out a bit. So for the first month, I think the project was introduced to us at around January. So we have January, February, March, April, May. But we formally started our project at around end of February to first week of March. So that's why the duration of this is 3 months. Let me rephrase that. We started this February to April. So February, March, and April. So 3 months total. So apologies for that. And we started with the initial planning for the first week, and in the first week also of February, we tried measuring one classroom, because we thought that we can just multiply it by the number of if we have the dimensions of a single classroom, we could just then multiply it by the number of classrooms that we were going to be manually counting. So all of the members of the group um, measured one classroom, and to have an idea of what we will be doing for the next few weeks. For the second week, in order to make it efficient, we actually split up. So since there are six members, uh, we then measured. We separated. So three of us measured a different floor per meeting. So you have measured third floor, second floor, fourth floor. So fourth floor. So in a span of at around 1 month, we have measured some parts of the building. So why some parts? So we explained in our video for our midterm project that we ask permission for user to we will be asking plans from the PPO if they have an existing plan for the agriculture building, since there are areas that we cannot gain access due to certain limitations. So that's why in practicality or realistically, we cannot measure the entire building in just a span of month, but we have acquired plans, so it made the timing a lot less shorter. So we did our progress meeting first week of March, and and as you can see here, the start of structural plan is actually the first. I'm the main one who made I'm the one who made the architectural plan, and I have thought to myself that I really need to start this as soon as possible because it is in my part that will be given to all of the members, because without the architectural plan they cannot proceed with their own parts as the design and layout of the building uh, is my job. So I cannot just simply copy from the plans that I acquired from the PPO, but instead have to make use of the measurements that we made. So that's why I started early, and around this time from the second month of third to fourth week, they have started then on each of their plans as I progressively started giving out my architectural plans. So yeah, around the fourth week of the second month, and for the majority duration, the remaining duration of the third month, we kept focusing on the each of our individual parts. So we also did consultations with user. We asked about the mechanical plans and electrical plans, and if ever one of our members have confusions about the parts of the plan. Then we did our estimates. These estimates were not the estimates that were presented right now. These were like the very basic estimates that were discussed during that time. So the rebars, the wires, and the such. So we then finalized our plans for 3 weeks. Then we worked on our video presentation for 2 weeks, and lastly submitted just in time at April 30, 2024, or the end of the month of April, to submit the output of the video. So I guess that concludes my part for the agriculture building bill of quantities.
So, hello guys, my name is Delgan Licio Cesar, and here I'm going to explain kung saan yun sa mag estimate sa agriculture building. So first is gikuha na ko ang concrete na kailangan para sa whole building. So natay class A, class double A, class A, class B, and class C. So pagkuha na ko ana is, as you can see here, giisa-isa na ko siya sa Excel para makuha ang total volume sa each. For example, sa footing, sa each column o each column and each slabs, and appeal po ang beams. So here makita namang calculations sa volumes, and dara din for each floor na pud na siya. So here is ang summary na siya. So ang nabuhat nako is for double A kay kailangan nato og 144 ka bags of 40 kg, 6 ka cubic meters of sand, and 12 cubic meters of gravel para sa double A. And here may makita din nato ang total number of bags para sa cement sa class A, which is 14,886 bags. Para sa sand kay 826 cubic meters. Pero ako na lang na siyang gi-round up, which is 827 na siya. Tas sa gravel natay 1,653 or 54 cubic meters of gravel. Tas sa class B natay 90 bags, 6 cubic meters of sand, o naabot tay 12 cubic meters of gravel. And para sa class C, natay 9 bags, 0.7 cubic meters of sand and 1.5 cubic meters of gravel. So here makita nato siya ang quantity niya dari ibutang na nako, and then multiply din nako siya sa unit price niya para makuha ang total cost. So ang basis ako ang costing is gikan gyapon siya sa hardware, based sa El Salvador and based from Cagayan currently. So next na ko nga gitrabaho para sa estimates is in CHB. So for the CHB kay natay materials kailangan nato is 16 mm reinforcement bars, natay tire wires, mortar, Portland cement, sand, plaster, and Portland cement again para sa plaster niya siya. And here kaning Portland cement and sand para na siya sa mortar. So let me show you my calculation. So first, total number of CHBs. So giuna gibuhat nako is kuha nako ang area sa each walls, kanang walls, and then i-calculate din nako siya, multiply nako by 12.5 para makuha ang number of CHB pieces. So here makita na to pila ka buok CHB pieces kailangan. And then na total din siya into 31,893.64 or 31,894 pieces. So kani siya ang total area niya para magkuha sa mortar, which is gi-multiply din na nako siya sa ang total area, gi-multiply na ako sa 0.75 para makuha pila ka 0.972 base sa libro. Makuha din ako is 2020 or 21 bags. And for the sand, same na gyapon gikuha nako sa book para makuha ang mortar. Multiply na ako sa area para makuha din ako si cubic meters of sand. Same with plaster na siya constant, gikuha na ako sa book. So 0.14, gamit ako ang area method. Multiply na ako sa area, kuha na ako ang number of bags. Makuha po na ako ang cubic meters of sand. So sa rebar po, gikuha na ako is mo rin ni siya ang constant na gamit na ko para sa vertical o horizontal nga rebars. I-multiply lang ako sa area, makuha rin na to ang iyang number of rebars. So, kani sila duha, tas makuha rin na to ni siya. Pila ka number of rebars. Kani ang total in meters, i-divide din siya by 6 para makuha pila ka number of pieces of rebar 6 meter 16 rebars. Tapos for the tire wire, i-multiply mo na ako siya sa 0.032 para makuha na to ang 81.65 kilograms of tire wire. So, balik din pa sa ato atong POQ. So, here, makita na to siya. Muna akong summary sa akong gi-work ganiha. And here, kita na to ang prices. Same magapon, asa na magikuha ang prices. And muna ni, multiply na ako sa number of pieces or number of units, tas makuha rin ako ang total. So for the labor cost then here is explain lang nako kay ang basis nako ani is nagkuha ko sa nag-ask ko sa akong friend or sa akong igagaw engineer kung giunsa niya kuha sa total labor cost. So ana siya sa ako pwede na daw nako siya i-multiply ang total material cost sa either 40 to 45% sa total material cost kay mo daw na siya ang labor cost. So here muna nakuha na to is mo rin siya ang total labor cost. And I think that would be all. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. So in this section of the video, I'm going to discuss about how we estimated the number of deformed bars, the parts of the formworks, the tie wires, as well as the roofing materials that were needed for the agricultural building. So first is for the deformed bars. How did we identify that the 25, 20, and 10 mm bars were the only ones that we needed? So it was stated, or it was displayed here in the plans for the columns, the beams, and then as well as the stirrups for both that only 10 mm, 20 mm, and 25 mm bars are to be used. So after that, we then utilized the total length of the stirrups, I mean the columns. So the total length of the building from the foundation was then identified, after which we then multiplied the total height to the number of ray bars needed for each column, which is quite, I think, only the same values. Yeah. So it was stated that 12 number 15 number 25 mm bars were used for the columns, after which 10 mm bars were also shown to be used for the ties. So first for that is for the columns, and for the beams we utilized the discussion or how the method on how we were to compute for or estimate a beam section for the number of rebars needed. Next is the stirrups. So we calculated the perimeter of the stirrups for one tie. I mean, for the columns, for the tie, one perimeter for the tie, and then multiplied it by the needed. Multiplied it by the total length. So after acquiring the total length of the tie, we then multiplied it by that's actually the length of the stirrups. We divided it by the length of the. We multiplied it by the number of ties and then divided that to the number of, or the total length of the 6 meter bars. So the values for the rebars came at 3,551 pieces, 1,460 pieces, and then 505 pieces of 25, 20, and 10 mm bars respectively. For the number of ties, it was not discussed in the slab, so in the lectures on how to compute for the rebars of the slab. So I was not able to compute for the intersections as well. So we must account that for the lower value of tie wires needed. But however, I use the intersections for the columns, for the rebars and then the ties, as well as the stirrups, to acquire the number of tie wires needed. After that, we then proceeded to the plywood, coco lumber, and then the common nails. So for the plywood, for the formworks, the thickness is given and then the total length is given. So we'll just multiply that to acquire the area, after which I divided that by the plywood thickness, I mean the plywood area. So it came out to a total of 505 pieces of 1.2 by 2.4 plywood. For the coco lumber, I utilized a ratio and proportion, same with the common nails, to acquire the number of coco lumbers needed for this structure. So thank you to the reference that was very useful during in computing for these parts. However, lastly, in the roofing section, I was able to compute for the roofing because the details of the truss were actually given, and then by making it up to scale here, I computed for the top uh, top chord, the bottom chord, and the web. So considering that they are different sizes, I just then multiplied it to the number of same with the half truss. I just then multiplied it to the number of half and full trusses presented in the plans. For the C-purlines, the total perimeter, these green lines here are the C-purlines, and we then use that after acquiring the total perimeter, divided it by six for the standard length of one C-purline channel, which is actually this 1 3/4 by 4 number 46 channel purlins or C-purlins. So it came to a value of 50 pieces of 2 by 2 angle bars, 40 for 11 by 2, and then 11/2 by 11/2, and then 99 of 11/4, and then 126 pieces of the C-purlins. So that's how I computed for the parts that were assigned to me in the agricultural building. So that would be all, and thank you.
Good day, everyone. I'll be discussing the estimates and calculations of the bill of quantities for the electrical fixtures in an agricultural building in Xavier University. So first and foremost, I'll walk you through the electrical plan of the building in AutoCAD. So let me share my screen. So as you are familiar with this, I have discussed this in the previous video. This is the electrical plan of the agriculture building in XU. So in the previous video, I have discussed the specific details and elaborate the layout of each floor in this electrical plan. So, but for this video, I'll just walk through the layout for light circuiting and convenience outlet circuiting. So for this part, I'll first show you the legend. So as you can see, this will be the fans, the icon for the fans. So let us be familiar with these icons. So the rectangular one will be the fluorescent light bulb, and then the fluorescent light again. And then the next is the emergency light, and then lighting panel, air conditioning unit, convenience outlet, and digital light processing. So these are the legends that are included in these plans. So in the let's start with the ground floor. As you can see, there are offices. There are no classrooms in this floor. And as we move to the next floor, there are few classrooms in this floor. And then the third one, we have almost all the rooms are the classrooms for this floor, and also the same for the fourth floor and for the fifth floor, and also sixth floor. So this will be the guide of each floors in the building. And then we have included in the electrical plans, the layout for convenience outlet where it has been placed for each room. So as you can see, convenience outlet here, here, and here outside, and then that will be the layout for the outlets. And this shows the electrical wiring. So these are involved in our estimates later. So I'll move. Let me share my other screen for the estimates. So as you can show in my screen, as you can see in my screen, here is the estimates for agriculture building. So on my part, let's discuss on the electrical fixtures. So first item will be the electrical pipes. Electrical pipes will be used 1/6 meter. So we have 230 pieces of electrical pipes, and then it costs 60 pesos each, which cost a total cost of 13,800 pesos. So for full fluorescent tube, as you can see in the electrical plans, fluorescent tubes are spread out in the classrooms and hallway. Few are in the hallways. So there are 341 pieces from ground floor to 6th floor. So which cost 199 each, which cost total amount of 67,859 pesos. And then we also need lighting bulb. Not all lights are fluorescent tubes. So there are also lighting bulbs in few places or some areas that are dark. So like, for example, the hallway, the stairs, and even in the CR area, we need the light bulb. So there are 121 pieces in total, which cost 85 pesos each. So there are totaling an amount of 10,285 pesos. And then also fans. As you can see in the electrical plan, there are placed 2 fans in each classroom. So there are a total of 56 fans with a cost of 1,990 unit price. Total amount of 111,440 pesos. So also in a classroom, we need lighting switch. So we need 77 pieces from ground floor to 6th floor, and then the amount of 111 per piece. So the total amount will be 8,547. And the next is the convenience outlet. As you can see in the convenience outlet layout, we have spread and placed different convenience outlets every room. So there are a total of 322 pieces in the building, and then which cost 164 pesos each, which totaling the amount of 52,808 pesos. And then next is the aircon outlet. So as you can see in the agriculture building electrical plan, there are only few aircons to be placed in the building because there are no aircons in the classroom, so they are placed in the offices. So there are only 31 pieces aircon outlets for the air conditioning unit. There are 31 pieces, and then each are 240 pesos each, and then which cost a 7,440 for the aircon outlet. And then next, we also need a wire. We need 3 boxes of wire, which cost 3,800 per box. So which total of 11,400 pesos. And then the next is a fire alarm control panel, which we need 2 pieces, so which cost 4,700 each, then which cost a total amount of 9,400. So that will be all for the electrical fixtures in the agricultural building. It's actually the appliances for fans, the lights, the light processing unit, and also the light bulbs, and for the switch and convenience outlets. So that's it for the electrical plan for agriculture building. Thank you.
Hello, good day. I am Antoinette Charmaine S. Ugat, and for this part of the video, I will be discussing on the estimates on the agriculture building, specifically for the floor finish and the roofing. So for the floor finish, here is in item number 9. Under the floor finish, we have tiles for the hallways on first to sixth floor, and the tiles on the toilet and bath for first to sixth floors, and the offices. So I have accumulated the area for all the offices from first to sixth floor, basing on the um, plans that we have made, and of course also the tile grout. So for roofing, I so for roofing, I have we have estimated the GI sheets or the color roof, and the gutter, as well as the nails or rivets. So let's go back to the floor finishes. So for floor finishes, as I have mentioned, I have taken into account the hallway, because for the agriculture building, the hallways, the bathroom, and as well as the offices uses tiles, although they differ for the dimensions of the tiles used. So there is a 30 by 30 centimeter tiles and a 60 by 60 centimeter tiles. So for the first floor, I have acquired the area, which is the 130 square meters. And to calculate the tiles needed, or the pieces of tiles needed, we have we will be dividing the floor area over the tile area. So 130 square meters divided by 30 by 30, which is the area for the tiles. Now we have acquired here the number of pieces per parts. So for the first floor, the second, fourth, and sixth floor hallway are the same in square meters or in area, because they have the placement of the rooms or the classrooms are the same for the following floors, for these floors. So the second, fourth, and sixth, as well as the third and fifth. So for the toilet and bath, I have accumulated the area um for the toilet and bath of the first floor. So this includes both the male and female restrooms, as well as the toilet area in the offices. So 45 square meters and 23.5 square meters for the second to sixth floor, divided by the 60 times 60, or 0.6 if we convert it to meters. And here is the number of pieces, so 125 and 375 respectively. For the offices as well, is the same process, area over the floor area over the area of the tiles. And lastly, for the grout, to calculate for the grout, we have estimated the ratio of per 1 kilogram of grout, it is going to accumulate 30 square meters. So acquiring the total area of the floors that are needing tiles. So the formula for this is area of the floor times the ratio, which is the 1 kilogram over 30 square meters. And per bag, there is 2 kilograms. So that is why here I have stated tile grout that is 2 kilogram per bag. So here is the number, 35 bags. And for each pieces or bags, there is a unit price. So 50 pesos per 30 by 30 cm tiles estimated, and multiplied by the quantity or the pieces or the bags respectively. And here is the total amount of for the materials. Proceeding now to the area, for the roofing. So here the GI sheets. So for roofing, to get the area, to get the quantity or to estimate the roofing, the GI sheets or color roof that we have used or I have estimated here is the 0.8 by 3.6 GI sheet. So to get the estimate number or of sheets for the roofing is the area of the roof over the area of the GI sheet. So here we have 155 square meter area of the roof over 0.8 times 3.6. So we have 55 sheets. And per sheet, we have an estimated amount of 265 pesos. And the prices per unit or the unit prices that we have placed here in the bill of quantities for agriculture building or the estimates is based from the local hardwares. So for example, the Wilcon for Wilcon Depot, and as well as the we have referenced it from the duplex or the finals plans that we have acquired for the finals. And there are similar materials that we have acquired the prices of, and we have weighed and estimated the unit prices based from those plans. Okay, so for the gutter, the process for estimating the gutter is to get the area of the roof again, and we divide it to 2.35 to get the pieces and estimate of the gutter. So here we have 62 pieces, and per piece is 230 pesos. And as well as for the rivets, we have 5 boxes. So to get the total is to multiply the unit price to the quantity here. So per sheets, per pieces, and per boxes. And that is the total for the roofing. And that is it for the floor finishes and the roofing. Thank you very much.
So good day to everyone. I am Kezia Zerna, and I am going to talk about the agricultural building bill of quantities for items number 12, 13, and 14. So these items are related since these are ceiling paint finished, interior wall paint finished, and exterior wall paint finished. And the materials are primer paint and neutralizer, which are all the same for all of these items. So for its quantity, I calculated the surface area of the ceiling, interior wall, and exterior wall. And note that these calculations are for the entire building of the agricultural building. So these are like its total. So after calculating its surface area, I subtracted the area of the openings of the wall, such as the windows, doors, and etc. So after getting the final surface area with the subtracted surface area of the openings, I divided it with the values that were given from the discussion, which are 40 square meters for the exterior wall, since 1 gallon of smooth to fine surface is 40 square meters. So for the interior wall, I used 40 square meters. So the entire surface area of the interior wall multiplied by 1 gallon over 40 square meters, then I got this value. So for the exterior wall, I used the value of 35 square meters, since 1 gallon of fine to coarse surface is 35 square meters. So the whole surface area of the exterior wall of the whole agricultural building is then multiplied by 1 gallon over 35 square meters of fine to coarse surface. So I got this value, and for the ceiling paint finish, it is the same process wherein I got this value also. So this column is its unit price for the primer paint and the neutralizer. So to get the total cost, I multiplied the unit price and its quantity. So this column is the total cost of these materials for the whole agricultural building. And also, I am assigned to item number 16, which is the plumbing and fixtures. So note that these materials, the pipe drain, PVC pipe, the pipe drain, these other materials also are assumed, since these are not, or like most of these are not visibly, like physically visible when we were at the on-site gathering measurements and the on-site inspection of the building phase. So for the materials of the slab sink, water closet, lavatory, urinal, and floor drain, I manually counted it per floor of the entire building, wherein I got these values for each material. So these are its unit price for each material, and the source for these unit prices are from Wilcon Hardware. So for the total cost, I multiplied the quantity of these materials and its unit price, and to get the total cost.